I lied to my husband about my religion when we started dating so that I would have a chance with him, but I've kept up the act for the last 10 years, and even tried to convert, but I can't live this lie forever because it's not fair for either of us. I, 25F, and my husband, 25M, have been dating since we were in high school. Both my parents had been raised Orthodox Christians, and they did get married in a church, but it was mainly so my grandparents didn't disown them. They did get me baptized, and we occasionally attended church when my grandparents visited. But I do identify as an atheist. The high school friend group we both were in, while not at a religious school, did have a lot of Christian-affiliated people in it, and as someone who had always been embarrassed whenever church came up, it allowed me to talk only about my few experiences with it. However, as all teenagers do, I lied, and heavily played up how religious I was to fit in. This was partly because my husband, the guy I liked at the time, was Christian, and while he had dated people who weren't, I thought it would give me a shoe into a relationship. I would act as though I believed in God 100%, which I do not. We started dating at 15, and we would bond over God, and he would invite me to his church. I always felt a bit guilty but assumed the relationship wouldn't go anywhere. I sometimes felt doubt and wanted to call it off, but from a couple of weeks into the relationship, he would talk about dating to marry and love over lust. Which, as a teenage girl, felt like something straight from a storybook and made me feel special. As our relationship developed, I just kept hoping that if I went to church enough with him I would begin believing and I would never need to tell him I lied in the beginning. He proposed to me at the end of 2022 and we got married in a cathedral last year. While I know I should have told him then, it was too perfect to destroy it and I was scared. I had spent almost a decade with him and leaving didn't feel like an option. I don't know what to do. I feel as though I'm living a lie. He doesn't believe in divorce, so even if I was to tell him, I don't know what would happen. Commenter, you manipulated him and the reality is, you can't live like this forever. It's clearly weighing on you, and that's not fair to you, or to him to continue without him knowing. Relationships are built on trust, and while this is a huge thing to confess, continuing to hide it will only make it worse. Update. I told him. I couldn't take the weight of it anymore, and I confessed everything. How I lied at the start, how I don't believe in God, how I tried to force myself to for him. He didn't yell. He just sat quietly. Just to clarify, from the last post, isn't Orthodox, he is Protestant, but when we were in high school, whenever we would talk about religion I would say I agreed more with Protestantism than the religion I supposedly was. When we got married it was in a church and he fully believes I converted with little doubt in my new faith. After I told him everything he left. He went to his parents' house and I didn't see him all weekend, he didn't call, text, or anything. On Tuesday he returned home and he sat me down to talk. He is understandably heartbroken, not because I'm not Protestant but because I lied. He isn't sure if it's the real me he loves and his trust is broken. I asked him how he wants to move forward, but he hasn't decided. He has always dreamed of a family with me and doesn't want to lose that, but that dream has already been destroyed by my confession. I've suggested going to relationship counseling, but he says he isn't ready and is scared they will try to save the relationship rather than giving truthful advice from his past experience with family therapists growing up. I really hope he wants to stay and forgive me for what I've done. I've explained that if we have children I am happy to raise them under Christian beliefs and even continue attending church with him, though I am nervous this would build more resentment. I love him so much and would do anything to help him want to stay. Commenter 1. Trust is gained in drops and lost in buckets. You're going to have to wait. Commenter 2. Girl lacks the knowledge to even lie consistently about Christianity between 2 Reddit posts, and I meant to believe she fooled her husband for years? Commenter 3. You lied about a fundamental part of who you are and what you believe for your whole relationship. Of course the trust has been obliterated. Anything you say to him now will sound hollow.